Everyone. I'm just double checking that we're streaming in all the right places. Yep, Facebook and YouTube. Perfect. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July um, and a great weekend. Today, I wanted to talk to everyone about scope creep and how to prevent it as a business leader. So, my name is Katie Browsford. My business is KB Accounting. I have been serving mission-based businesses for over 13 years. I have my MBA with a concentration in accounting. So this is why I know how much scope creep can affect a business's profit margins and how to easily remedy the situation without any problem. Sorry, I can see my laptop shaking, which means so let's jump right in. This may sting a little bit, but you need to hear it loud and clear. The way people treat you, the way people take advantage of you, and the way people overstep their boundaries is only a reflection of what you give them permission to do. And I say this with all the love in my heart because it's been a hard lesson for me to learn, and it's taken me over 40 years to learn it. So most of us are not used to creating boundaries because we've either never been conditioned to do so, or we've worked in environments where we were conditioned to follow orders. But it's incredibly important that we start creating boundaries now. Do you ever find yourself wondering why people call you at all hours, including nights and weekends? Expect you to respond quickly within minutes? Expect you to go above and beyond and do these crazy tasks that are completely out of scope, and they do this more than just once? Well, have you ever told them when and how frequently you check your messages? Have you ever told them something was completely out of scope of the original contract? Have you ever set those boundaries? If you don't set the boundary and you answer the call, you do the extra work, and things go on and on that way, you find yourself in a position where you think it's too late to make an adjustment. You're not stuck. You can backtrack tactfully where you maintain mutual, not minimal, respect, and you keep your client if you want to, that is. So here's how you can reset boundaries. Create a detailed scope of work. When you start a project, it's important to create a clear plan that outlines the specific tasks and responsibilities involved. Think of it as a roadmap that guides everyone involved in the project. This plan, called the scope of work, should include details such as what needs to be done, all the tasks and activities that need to be completed for the project, break it down into smaller, manageable parts, who is responsible, assign specific responsibilities to team members or individuals involved in this project. This way, everyone knows what they are accountable for. It should include timeframes and deadlines. Set timelines for each task or milestone. This helps ensures that the project progresses in a timely manner and provides a sense of when certain parts of the project will be finished. It should include deliverables. Clearly defined what the end result or deliverables of the project will be. This helps everyone understand what the project aims to achieve by creating a detailed scope of work. You provide a clear and shared understanding of what needs to be done and who is responsible for what. It acts as a reference document to preventing the project from expanding beyond its intended scope, ensuring everyone stays focused on the agreed upon tasks. And Monitor and manage the project scope. Throughout the project, it's important to keep an eye on the project scopes. Scope creep refers to the tendency for projects to gradually expand beyond their original objectives or requirements. Here are some steps to help manage project scope. Help manage project scope. Regularly review the project. Continuously assess the progress of the project and compare it to the original scope of work. Look for any changes or additions that may have occurred. Identify the scope creep. Pay attention to any tasks or requests that fall outside the initial plan. If something new comes up, evaluate whether it aligns with the project's objectives or if it represents an expansion of the scope. Evaluate the impact. If a change or addition is proposed, consider its potential impact on the project. Assess how it may affect timelines, resources, and the overall feasibility of the project. Discuss with the client. If scope creep is detected, communicate with the client to discuss the potential changes and their implications. Ooh, I'm having a hard time with words today. Collaborate on finding solutions that balance the client's needs with the project's limitations. Document changes. If any adjustments are made to the project scope, ensure that they are documented. This helps maintain a record of agreed upon modifications and ensures that all parties are aware of the project's current scope. By monitoring the project scope and addressing any potential scope creep early on, you can maintain control over the project's direction, prevent unnecessary work, and keep it aligned with the original objectives and agreements. The faster you communicate these things and the more frequently you communicate them, the better off you will be. This includes team members and clients, friends. It includes all your relationships. What if someone is asking you to do something that is not a part of your current package? You need to discuss a different package. Addressing scope creep while maintaining positive client relationships, it's crucial. You need to handle the situation effectively to ensure project success and client satisfaction. Let's go over some key points to consider when communicating with clients about scope creep. You need to start with a positive tone. When addressing scope creep, it's important to maintain a friendly and collaborative approach. Begin by expressing appreciation for the client's collaboration and emphasize the shared goal of the project's success. Revisit the initial scope. Remind the client of the original scope of work that was agreed upon at the project's outset. Emphasize the specific tasks and objectives and deliverables outlined in the initial agreement. Present specific examples. Provide concrete instances where the project has veered beyond the agreed upon scope. Use these as examples to illustrate how the additional requests or changes fall outside the original boundaries. Explain the implications. Help the client understand the impact of scope creep on the project. Highlight potential consequences such as delays, increased cost, and compromised quality. Use factual information and data. Demonstrate the importance of managing scope effectively. Focus on the project's objectives. You need to revisit the primary objectives of the project and their alignment with the expanded scope. You need to emphasize the importance of staying on track to achieve these objectives and the need to balance the client's needs with the project constraints. Propose alternative solutions. Offer alternative approaches to meet the client's needs without significantly expanding the scope. Collaborate with the client to find compromises that address their requirements while staying within the project's boundaries. You need to encourage open dialogue with the client, allowing them to share any concerns or thoughts on the matter. Actively listen to their perspective and work together to find the best way forward. If the client is insisting on expanding the scope, ensure that any adjustments are clearly documented. This helps maintain a record of the agreed upon modifications and ensures that all parties are aware of the project's current scope. By following these steps, we can effectively communicate with clients about scope creep while maintaining positive relationships. Remember, open communication, a solutions-oriented approach, and a focus on project objectives are key elements in successfully managing scope and ensuring a project's success. It's not fair to you, your team, or your profits to continue to do work for less than you're worth. Think about this. Think about it this way. Okay, a lot of people that are in mission-based businesses are in it because of their passion in their heart. But to put it in simple terms, think about you hire somebody to redo your kitchen. While they're redoing the floor of the kitchen, they realize that leading into the dining room, they need to do some work on the floor there too. They're going to do this with no cost, but you're like, you know what? Since you're already doing this portion of the dining room, let's just do the whole thing over. Is it fair to the contractor to add another day labor without them communicating to you that A, it's going to cost you more money, and B, it's going to cost you more time, and it's going to cost them more time? It's not fair to you, and it's not fair to them for them to just do it and then hand you a bill. The communication is so important. So, how much time on average is scope creep costing you? Do you have an assistant doing extra work for this client? What's that costing you? Figure out how much you have to pay somebody to help this client constantly. Then reposition the offer so that you're doing the same things, but that the client is now paying for that time and skills that they're requiring of you. I'm currently working on this, and one of the suggestions that was given to me to be able to figure out how much I've allowed scope creep to come into my world without realizing it is on all of my invoices, putting in if there is any in-kind work that you're doing, stuff that you're doing that you're not charging them for whatever reason. Put in those hours on your invoices so that they can see what you've been doing for them. Now, as you turn the corner and you have the open conversations with them about what it's costing you and what more you're doing than what was originally agreed upon, they've already seen it in black and white, what you're already doing is costing you. Now let's see what this new project they want you to do is going to cost you. First step, I need baby steps, just in case anybody else out there needs baby steps. So just to recap here, whenever you are wondering why a client is treating you a certain way, it's always your fault. Which is great, because if it's your fault, you can fix it. You have the ability to adjust the boundary. And if someone is completely out of scope, then put them in a new deal and send a new contract or engagement letter or whatever. And if you're not quite sure if scope creep is affecting your profit margins, maybe it's time to talk to someone that can help. If you need support on this, feel free to comment below with next steps, and myself or a member of my team can reach out to you to talk about how we might be able to support you. If you currently don't have a team to support you with this, please feel free to reach out to us so that we can see how we might be able to help. Also, if you know a business friend who might need to hear this information, share the video with them or tag them below. And as always, I hope everybody has a wonderful day